Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. This is, as always, your host, Mike Bono. I have a fantastic guest to talk to today. A woman coming from us all the way from Notre Dame College. No, not South Bend, Indiana. I know we've had guests on here before, but for the new listeners, Notre Dame College all the way up in Cleveland, Ohio. Beth Ford, she is the vice president of enrollment. She was also a graduate from there. We're going to get into that too as well. Beth, welcome to the show.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Not a problem. Like I said, I'm super excited to talk to you about this. I know you got some things going on. We're going to get to that a little later in the show. But you were a student at Notre Dame College before you started working there. And I believe, if the wonderful manager of the show, Johnny Fitty Falcone, has said, it was an all-girls school when you went there. And you were also an athlete there too as well. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, I am. So I'm a graduate of Notre Dame College just a few years ago, or maybe 20. I know I don't look that old, but I feel it some days. So, but yes, I was a student athlete at Notre Dame College for 4 years. We were an all women's college at the time. We were NAIA. I was a student athlete, played 3 sports. And that's why I'm so tired now. I'm retired. So, but yes, played soccer as my main sport since I was 3, continued that in college. And, just really found the benefits of being a student athlete at Notre Dame. I excelled in the classroom, really got to know Notre Dame College and just love what it did for me as an undergraduate.
So what was it like at Notre Dame College being a 3-sport? I thought you were only a 2-sport athlete. So that's a whole nother thing now, a 3-sport athlete at Notre Dame College back when it was an all women's NIA school.
It was a great opportunity for me. It taught me, how to stay on point, focused in the classroom, focused as a student athlete, because I didn't have much time. And that's why I appreciate, the college students now that, they're working part-time, they're playing a sport, they're in the classroom, they're juggling so many different things. And I feel like as a college student myself, when I was doing that, it taught me really how to live a life and how to really, do well and excel as an adult, whether that's in my career and now with my family and, juggling all of those pieces. It was a small school. It still is a small school. It was much smaller then as an all women's college. But, it still has the foundations that it was built on. We don't strive to be a large research institution. We strive to be a small, liberal arts focused, mission driven institution. And, we don't hide that. We focus on the individual and, those opportunities in and out of the classroom.
Awesome. I can say from experience, I know the juggling. I was an athlete in college too as well. I swam at Bethany College.
Nice.
And worked part-time and then classes. I can understand and appreciate somebody who's been there and has done all that, because I know I was like, oh, hopefully it's going to get better after college. And I'm still juggling now, years later.
Yes. I thought it would get easier, but it doesn't.
No, it never really does. So what was the transition like going from all women's to now co-ed, having more sports there? I believe 19 different sports there.
Yes.
Now, which is amazing. You also have music, dance, cheerleading, theater, I believe.
Theater. Yes. So we have it all. We have opportunities for all students. Really, as I was progressing, as I mentioned, as a student athlete, and I graduated, I went off and worked for a bank, actually in their marketing department. My undergraduate was in business and marketing. I got recruited back by one of the Sisters of Notre Dame to come back into admissions because of what I did and what I loved about Notre Dame. As an undergraduate, I did it all. So they were, I was a perfect person to come back in admissions and share my experience with, the students that, are looking for a Notre Dame college. So I came back right before Notre Dame College announced that we were going co-ed. So I was like, whoa, all right, this is going to be an interesting ride. So what I did was immediately we started recruiting men. And so I was part of, recruiting that first pioneer class of men. And let me tell you about an experience. And so from there, we, to increase enrollment at Notre Dame, we started 4 to 5 new men's sports teams that focused on driving enrollment, focused on, obviously balancing the women and the men. And it just grew from there. We started with 4. We're now at a total of 19 NCAA Division II athletic programs. So there's always something going on around the campus, or, during COVID year, we had to actually play all of our sports during the spring semester. And that was interesting. So, but exciting. And, coupled with that, to balance, the athletics, and we have significant programs in performing arts, and that includes the band, choir, theater, cheer, and dance. So it has a nice mix and balance of the diversity of the students. And I think, obviously that's what our mission is, the appreciation for our mission and also our diversity. So blends well together, and it, makes for an exciting day around campus.
Sounds like it would be super exciting, especially coming in and being the first one to recruit men to
Yes.
known as an all-women's college. And speaking from
that first man was so excited. He had lots of women here, and there he was.
I get to go to an all-women's school. Yay!
Yeah.
Sign up for that.
Absolutely.
All right. So you are now the longest standing cabinet member of Notre Dame College. I believe you've been there 21 years. Not trying to age you, but that's just
yes. Yes, I admitted it earlier on the show, so it's okay. I won't be mad at you. But yeah, I have worked my way from, I've made higher education a career, which I didn't actually even know that there was a career in higher education administration before I started in it. And it all started from that one call from one of the sisters recruiting me back to admissions. And I had great mentors along the way during my first years of recruitment and working at Notre Dame. Great presidents, great mentors. Just really helped me grow my career, and just kept going. I worked my way up to director, and then eventually to the vice president level that I'm at now.
So being that you are the vice president in the enrollment there, I have to ask, and I think everyone's going to be interested because we've had some former guests of the show, Notre Dame College, Colin Savankara, I believe I'm pronouncing his name right. I know
I think it's close enough. Close enough. It's closer than what I get. So
and basketball coach Mark Richmond on the show.
Yes.
What is it like working with those two? And then I have another little interesting question too as well, with the wonderful manager of the show, John.
Oh, yes.
But we'll get to him in a minute.
Okay. Fantastic.
What is it like working with those two on campus?
I think overall Notre Dame draws, a specific type of person and a specific type of person to work here. So not just the students, but also the staff members, because it's a small school, we don't pay millions and millions of dollars. You have to, you know what you're getting into when you work at a Notre Dame college. You are here to help students and make a difference in all aspects of their lives. You know, one thing that keeps me at Notre Dame is just watching these students flourish, because I'm fortunate to see them when they come in and through admissions. But then, you know, as I stay, I continue to watch them through their college career and flourish and graduate and go do great things. And I tell them to come back and buy me lunch, a very expensive lunch, you know, to make sure that they don't forget about us. But, you know, just like Mark and Colin, you know, they're mission driven. They're very focused on, you know, development of students, especially Mark with, you know, obviously the basketball program. You know, he has his hands full sometimes. He's got a lot of student athletes that they, you know, he helps them reach their full potential. And sometimes that easier days than others. But what a difference he makes in their lives, you know, and Colin the same way. In admissions, you know, it's a different type of feeling, because unfortunately we don't always see them after they enroll at Notre Dame, but we empower them to believe in themselves and show them the opportunities in admissions that they can take advantage of at Notre Dame. And, you know, that's a very unique position to have, because it gives you all those feelings that you help them take the next step in their life, where there are students that come here that they don't know if they're college material. They don't know if they're going to make it. They don't know where to start with the FAFSA and financial aid and all those pieces. So we do a lot of hand holding that, you know, it's not for everybody. It is not a job for everybody, but it's a job for people that really, 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 you know, care about people, and you grab their hand and say, okay, let's go, let's do this. So.
Okay, so that's those two. Now
The good part.
now what I've been waiting to ask you since I knew you were coming on the show. Why bring in Johnny into the mold there at Notre Dame College, and how has he helped in the admissions? Because I've known Johnny since college. We went to Bethany together. We were both athletes. We were both all around. We were with each other all the time, classes together and everything like that. And so I know how he is as a person and what he is like. So how has he gelled with the team there? And, you know, just basically, how's he doing there?
Yeah, great questions. You know, some days I want to just, actually, I want to start with resilient, you know, because that's his favorite word, and that is what he is. And, you know, and he told us that in his interview. And, you know, that's something that we were very attracted to when he interviewed, was that you have to have resilience. You have to keep pushing, because although admissions is, you know, it's a career builder and it's exciting and it's great for the students, it's also a sales position. Now, luckily, we're selling a great product, but it's still a sales position. And so I think, you know, there were a number of things that, you know, when Johnny interviewed, it was like, it was a good fit. We needed, he was going to fill a void that we didn't have in admissions. We, one, needed more support. Two, we needed that resilience type of attitude. Higher education is going through a lot of changes right now, and especially small private schools. So we have to keep pushing. We have to have that energy. We have to have that, you know, I'm going to get it done kind of attitude. And that is what he brings to the office 110% of the time. There are some times where he brings it too much and I have to kick him out of my office. And I'm like, go do it. And I love doing it because he doesn't stop. And I appreciate that. The office does too. They also have to, you know, they're like, okay, all right, I'm going to get on his level. I'm going to keep pushing as well. So, you know, it's contagious. That's a contagious behavior. You know, when you can round up the team and make them focus on the goal. You know, and he does that. He, you know, he'll push others. He'll look at a thing and, you know, it's like, okay, it doesn't make sense, and he wants to change it, and he does. So, you know, there's a lot of great things that have happened since the time he's been here. You know, we're really building a new team. We have hired new players to the office as well. And, he's helping them grow as individuals. So we're very fortunate to have him at Notre Dame. Among my other, the other staff in admissions, we really do. There's not always great days, but there are a lot of good days. And so he's just a gem that has come together and fit in well in the office.
I would say your word for Johnny, resilient, is better than, I call him the Energizer Bunny, because he is always going.
Yes, always going. Sometimes I gotta bring him in. I'm like, okay, go back to your office, settle down for a minute, and let's do it.
There
So I think about it every once in a while, but yes.
There has been times when he has called me to talk about the podcast, because he does help out a lot with the podcast and getting people on the show. Great people like yourself.
He loves it.
And everything like that, and he absolutely loves it.
Yep.
There's times when I'm talking to him, and the only things I can get out of my mouth is, yeah, sounds good. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're still going. Okay, yeah, yeah. It's just
yes.
My wife
100%.
My wife absolutely loves him because she can hear him through the phone when he's not on speakerphone.
Yes.
He's like me. We're both Italian in culture, so we're very loud individuals as it is. So me and him having a conversation, she's like, can we like bottle up his energy? I got to go to work in like an hour.
And I need that energy. Yeah. And I do feel, it is contagious. As I mentioned, that it's just an energy that, you can't train somebody to have. But, I think, we've connected with an understanding of, okay, you can't do that 100% of the day, because you're going to run out. So, but it's a unique type of energy that we're very fortunate to have.
Yeah, I've tried to match his energy. I get like halfway through the day.
And I'm like, where's my coffee? I need my coffee.
My coffee, I need my Monster Energy drink, something with some caffeine, and just to even come close to Johnny's level. And I love the man to death. He's one of my best friends. And like I said, I've known him going on over a decade. And
he feels the same way about you. So you're right on target there. So
that's good to know.
Does great things about you, but I won't tell you that. He probably doesn't want me to tell you that. So
yeah, that's going to ruin all of his credibility. Okay.
100%.
I do have to pause right here before we get into our next segment to mention one of the new and great sponsors of the Ride Home Rants podcast, Heart and Soul Heat. That is a product that is honey with ghost peppers in it. And I wasn't really a big fan. I don't put a lot of honey on things, but I was like, I'll give it a try. They sent me a bottle of it, and oh my Lord, if you like things that are sweet and spicy, you are going to love this. Heart and Soul Heat. It goes great on everything. I've had it on toast. I've had it on biscuits, which by far are my favorite so far on biscuits. I've put it on some chicken too as well. It's good there. I'm about to try it today. I'm making some pork chops, going to glaze it in that and see what that looks like and tastes like. But as for now, I am a huge fan. I've brought this into my day job to let some of the guys there try it too as well. All of them have just taken it, put it on their finger and tried it. And they're like, where can we get this? This is the best thing that we've tasted in a while. So anybody out there who's a honey fan, even if you're not a honey fan, go to heartandsoulheat.com. You will find where it is. I like to call this sweet heat. I know that's not what it's called, but that is not what I've been calling it. And all the guys that I work with absolutely love it. And they're now starting to call me Sweet Heat because I brought it into work for them to try it.
That sounds fantastic.
It is. Oh my God, it is so fantastic. And for anyone out there who's like, oh, ghost peppers, it's really hot. It's really only 10,000 Scoville units, which is like number 2 out of 5 on the scale. So that's not even really that spicy. The honey gives it a great flavor. I told them I would do a review on this podcast. I wish I had the bottle here, but I don't have it with me in my office. But It is phenomenal, and you must try. That's Heart and Soul Heat. Go there. Tell them Mike Bono sent you from the Ride Home Rants podcast. I promise you, you will not be disappointed in this.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
You're
now I'm
you're
hungry.
making you're
Now-
making me hungry, and for that, so I'm going to go on after we get finished here, because that is right up my alley. That sounds fantastic.
It is so fantastic. Oh, I can't talk about it enough. I don't have enough time on this show to talk about it. We got other things to talk about. So at Notre Dame College coming up, you guys actually have your college fair next week. I
Yes.
believe our wonderful Energizer Bunny was the one who put this together. So tell everyone about the college fair and Johnny's part in getting that set up.
Absolutely. So college fairs happen, this year, thank goodness, we have been able to do them in person. For the last year and a half, unfortunately, students have not had the ability, and colleges haven't been able to meet with them in person. And what we wanted to do, and especially at Notre Dame, was to focus on getting back to some type of normal. And I know, that's not, everyone keeps saying, what's the new normal? Well, we want to get back to what we know worked prior to COVID. And that is really getting in front of the students and telling them, here's what Notre Dame has. Here's what, these other institutions can offer you as a, typically we'll see sophomores, juniors, and some seniors come to the visit day, and also the college fair. So this year we are hosting our first annual college fair at Notre Dame College. We have not hosted one. Johnny got an email one day and was like, let's do this. And I said, I don't know if we can handle a college fair at Notre Dame College. And of course, the next day I'm logging in and I'm signing up for a college fair at Notre Dame College. So we registered. I didn't know if we'd be approved. We got it. And fast forward, on Monday, we will have over 40 different colleges and universities from Ohio, Michigan, Alabama, West Virginia, New York, Pennsylvania, coming to campus to hopefully speak to students from about 50 to 100 miles around campus about the opportunities at their various institutions. So it gets them in front of college reps to talk about, what's important, what's a good fit for them. So it's not just about Notre Dame College and bringing the students to Notre Dame. It's about really bringing the students from the Cleveland area to campus to talk to these other institutions as well. So we're very excited. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed about it right now because I got a couple things I still need to do for next week. But, even if it benefits 5 students, it's well worth every effort that we've put in, and Johnny making me sign up for it.
Making you sign up for that. I like the way you put that.
Yes.
He told me it was his idea. So I was like, okay, I need the backstory as to how it happened. So
Yes.
Where exactly can everybody find this college fair? Is it going to be on campus? Where is it at?
It is. It's going to be on campus. It's Monday, November 8th. It's from 6:30 p.m. to 8:00 p.m. On campus. Once they get to our address is 4545 College Road, and that's in South Euclid. It's about, and if you're not familiar with campus, we're about 30 minutes outside Cleveland, Ohio, tucked away in a nice residential area. We say that we have the best of both worlds, easy access to downtown Cleveland, but tucked away in a nice residential area. There's lots of shopping around here as well. So I just thought I'd add that. So you can come to the fair, do some shopping, do some eating. I know some of my friends are bringing their kids to do that. So we'll also have some sessions and some drop-in sessions about how to complete your FAFSA, which is to qualify for financial aid. Academic support centers that we have on campus, and then also just application questions. Some students are first generation students that just need help with their next steps. So we're offering all of that in between, those times. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I can tell you, listeners of this show, we're spread out over 39 states right now, I think, in the United States right now, cities all over. So everyone out there, make the trip this coming
Absolutely.
Monday, the 8th, to Notre Dame College. It sounds like, plus you're going to get to meet, is Johnny going to be there? Let me ask you this before.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
He better be. No, he
You're
better
going to
be.
meet the Energizer Bunny himself, people. This is what we need to see. Everyone who has heard me talk about him on this show before, who has emailed me questions about him, which are phenomenal, and I try to answer them as best as Johnny would, and send them a novel, because I know that's how his answer would be. You're going to get to meet this man and see him in person and what we are talking about. So
Yes.
if all else fails, that's the reason to go. But no,
Sure.
really.
And
But no,
he'll sign autographs too. I'll make him.
he probably will. I would not put that past
You know. We'll give him his own room.
But yeah, go there, check it out. It's well worth it. I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about Notre Dame College. I haven't been able to make it up myself due to my crazy work schedule, but I am working on getting comedy shows up near Cleveland. And when I do, I'm making the trip to Notre Dame College just to meet the people in person that I wasn't able to meet thanks to the wonderful age of COVID and having to do my interviews on Zoom, which is fun in itself. But yes, go up there, make the trip. It's well worth it. And I fully hope that this show helps you out and getting people there. That is what I am here to do with the show.
Yes.
Now,
Thank you for having us. Thank you for, obviously helping anyone that we can, especially our students that are looking at, if they're college bound. So it's exciting.
yes, very exciting. I hope to hear good things from this college fair, but we are running down near the end of the episode. I can talk to you probably all day about Johnny and everything going on there at Notre Dame College, but I want to give you, Beth, the opportunity, like I give everybody else at the end of the show. I'll give you a minute or two for anybody else thinking, why Notre Dame College? Floor is yours.
All right. Well, as I mentioned, I've been here for 20 years, almost 21 years. And, I've had a great experience as an undergraduate, and every year that I have been at Notre Dame, I've seen students completely transformed from the moment they've stepped foot on campus, taking advantage of all of the opportunities that we talked about. And it's not just athletics, it's performing arts, it's STEM, being a STEM student, it's being an honor student. It's bonding with our faculty and our students. Our class size is about 14 students. So you're not going to get lost in the mix. You're going to have that individual attention with the faculty. Our students are, some of our students are 30% first generation students. So, their means to have access to college is limited. That is why, as an institution, every year we invest about $19 to $20 million in financial aid. So, that is a point of interest for students that are, looking to overcome that barrier of, oh, I can't afford college. You can just work with your office of admissions and institutions to help you overcome that barrier, because you'll make in the long run more money, with a college degree. The statistics show it. So, and that's just not at Notre Dame, but, checking out our nursing program. We're very well known for our education programs, the reason that we were founded by the Sisters of Notre Dame. So, and then last, we're career focused. It's one thing for a student to have a 4-year degree, but our focus is making sure that they have a foot in the door before they graduate. So for our undergraduate students, they must fulfill an internship before they graduate. And that's real life experience in the real world before they walk across that stage. And, it puts their foot in the door, gives them opportunities after college. And combine that with all of the things that we're gonna get them involved on campus, and it just makes them more marketable. And that's the key. How do you make yourself stand out once you graduate? And that's what we really help them to do. You mentioned about the different cities and states that you have listeners. We have at Notre Dame we represent over 35 states and 21 different countries in our student population. So it's almost guaranteed that wherever you're listening from, we have a student from there. And if not, let's push somebody to come from that area. So, I think it's unique that, and we talk about diversity and appreciation for it. That's what you're going to have in that classroom. You're not going to have everybody that looks like you or acts like you or thinks like you. You're going to have that complete diversity in that classroom of 14 to 20 students in each area. So those are just some reasons why Notre Dame. And if I can help anyone along the way, I'm happy to do that, whether it's if they want to come to Notre Dame or if they're looking somewhere else. I'm happy to help talk to them about their next steps. So
that is awesome and a great message. And for the people watching this one, because yes, this is the first video that we have done where people can actually see the guest. And I didn't want to put that pressure
lucky
on
me.
Kidding.
Lucky all of you.
But I do love the message that has been right over your head the entire time on your walls. Stay positive, work hard, and make it happen. Yes. That is probably the best message that I think anybody can give anybody out there. Whatever you're trying for, go for it and be the Energizer Bunny. That is Johnny Fitty Falcone. But Beth, it was great to talk to you. Everybody out there, all the listeners, if you have any questions, go see her at the fair coming up on November the 8th. If not, give them a call. Find her email. I can put that in the description of the show so that you guys can find her. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to them. That is what these people are here for. And find yourself maybe at a great institution in Notre Dame College.
Yeah.
Beth, I want to thank you again for being on the show. It was a lot of fun, a lot more laughs than I expected about Johnny.
I have plenty more, but we'll have to do it off air.
We will definitely do that off air, for sure. But thank you. That's going to do it for the Ride Home Rants podcast, everybody. And as always, be a friend, tell a friend if you like the show. If you didn't like the show, tell them anyways. Maybe they'll like it just because you don't. Not everybody's the same. That's going to do it again. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And I will see y'all next week.
Thank you.
All right, Beth.